American South. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe!
Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Yo-Jo June. We are heading into the second week of Yo-Jo June. Do not forget that this coming Wednesday, June the 11th, is our second Yo-Jo June fan stream, so we will get to see more reveals, hear more name-onlys, maybe get some more pre-orders, so tune in for that. And you know that come Sunday, I'll be talking about it just like I did with the fan stream last week. But more news, go ahead and leave us a like today, not just because we are taking a look at this big bad mamma jamma, but because of all of you. I have hit 1,500 subscribers today, time of recording. I very much appreciate that. That is awesome. I loved it when I got the email with the little announcement. Things were going very slowly for this channel, but that was because, quite honestly, I didn't really put much into it, and it showed. But over the past couple years, since I started changing things up and getting into a more structured format, things have really picked up, and I really want to thank everybody who has been around for the ride. Now, getting to what you're here for today, we are taking a look at the Four Horsemen Artillery Team Leader ATL-25. This is the, Toylanta convention exclusive. This is the standard release version. This is not the convention release version. There are two different versions of this. This is currently, time of recording, still available up for sale on Store Horsemen. I will leave a link to that in the description below. What this is missing from the convention exclusive is, and I will put a picture of those parts right here, it's missing the shield, it's missing a staff weapon, and it's missing another helmeted head sculpt. Quite honestly, things that I wasn't really worried about, because with the weapon, the main weapon that he has, I didn't really have need for the shield. The staff weapon, I wasn't really that concerned about, nor was I concerned terribly about the helmet option, because I'm pretty sure I'm just going to be displaying this bad mamma jamma with his unhelmeted face portrait right here. Now, taking a look at this, I do not dive deep into Four Horsemen. As a matter of fact, this is my fourth figure. The first two I had was Marley and the Ghost of Christmas Past. And then I picked up Stavros, I think it was Stavros the Unyielding, the Big Bad Toy Store 25th Anniversary exclusive. And now we have the Toylanta convention exclusive, Atlanta 25. Get it? I'm sure you did. So I do not know if this style of packaging is standard for things like their Mythic Legion and their Cosmic Legions. I think it's kind of awesome, actually. I really like this big blister bubble right here. You see it has the foot down there so that the package can stand up on its own. We also have the peg hole in case you have pegs on your display that you just want to hang this. Big clear bubble, you can see all of the accessories, everything packed in there, and there is a lot packed in here. We have the Four Horsemen logo over here. We have a bit of a write-up on the figure right here, and we have a nice promotional shot of the figure back here, along with credits on the production team, the sculpt team, everything else down here. I love when they do that. If you want to see who's involved, focus in, go ahead, pause and read that. But I also really like this packaging because even though this is a blister card, right here, you can just flip this tab up and you can just slide this out. So then you can get to the figure inside, and then if you want to store him, put him back in, you can. Like I said, people who purchase more Four Horsemen figures than I do, which that's not hard because, like I said, this is only the fourth one, probably already know stuff like that. But if you're new to it like I am, check that out. So without further ado, let's actually get this open, let's get him out, and let's take a look at the Four Horsemen Toylanta exclusive ATL-25. Okay, here he is, ATL-25 out of the box, and putting the tape measure to him, we see that he is, wow, 7 inches tall to the top of his head. He's much beefier than what I was expecting. So being new to the Four Horsemen line, I'm going to say something that I think I said during my Marley video, or maybe it was the Ghost of Christmas Past, but I get it now. I get why all the excitement, I get why all of the hype around these figures. This sculpt, like all over, not just the face sculpt, which we will be taking a look at, but this sculpt, these paint apps, this looks fantastic. I cannot get over how well done this guy is. I mean, look at the veins in his arms. Look at the, like, thoughtful eyes. Like, I don't use that term to describe, painted on eyes very often, but they really are like thoughtful eyes. I love this big beard. I'm not a beard dude myself, but this looks fantastic. The wrinkle lines in his forehead, you can even see like the worry creases right there. Like I said, the veins in his arms, the guns out. Even having minor detail like these silver buckles or these silver rivets here on the back of his gauntlets, and even like this weathering around his armor, like not necessarily battle damaged, just aged, old. He's worn it. It's seen some stuff just like he has. And the texturing, let's get his arm up out of the way, like the texturing of his shirt here, of his undershirt here underneath his armor. And then speaking of the armor, the buckles that are holding it all together. The whole thing looks fantastic, not to mention like the brown leather of the pouches on his utility belt around here, the detail on the clasp, everything just works. Everything looks fantastic. And all these little peg spots right here, which we'll talk about those in a second. If you're familiar with Four Horsemen, you already know what these are, but if you're not, wait and see. But even like the buckle and the pouch right here, all of this looks great. The camo pattern, once again, the material texturing, the cracked leather of his boots right here. I'm actually surprised that with as heavy as these toes are, that he doesn't have toe articulation. But then we even have like this aggressive tread here on the bottom of his boots. This whole thing is just fantastically done, right down to the detail and the sculpt on even the back of his armor right here. And we'll see what all of these peg holes are for in a moment. You may have also noticed that the neck is a little janky with it being armored and going right up to the head. That is because the head pops off and there is a helmeted head that goes along with him, which we will take a look at in a moment. But this is the face sculpt I'm going to be using. This is how he's going to be displayed on there. So after gushing over that, I mean, look at this. 7 inches of just awesomeness. Look at that. Okay, so after having gushed over that, let's take a look at the articulation. That the head will do a full 360 spin. The beard doesn't get as much in the way as I thought it would, but you'll notice that the neck joint kind of turned as well. So you got to watch that. Now, when we put it on and we give him a look up, he does look up very well, but you can see that the hinge point is a little janky right there just because of how it connects to the neck. Looking down, he's obviously not going to be able to do much of anything because the beard gets in the way, and he does have some really good tilt side to side. Arms will do a full 360 right here. There is no butterfly joint, but you can bring them up to 90. There is a single jointed elbow that comes up just a little bit past 90, and it is a hinge and swivel right there. The gauntlets will turn, the wrists will pivot, and they hinge up and down. Both of these are hinged up and down. They're not even the weapon wielding hands, although I guess they kind of are in a manner of speaking. You'll see what I mean when we get to the accessories. But then also we have a really good ball joint here at the waist that he can crank forward a little bit. He can crank way back, but then you can start to see the gap right there. He does have some rock side to side, not a whole lot. I feel like it's hindered mostly by his thick belt right here, but also he can do a full 360 spin. Lot of movement, lot of easy travel right here at the waist. Now we come down to the legs. We don't have drop down hips, but they do come up very well, just under 90. They kick out to the side real well, full 90 right there. You can see these armor pieces are soft rubber and they get out of the way. Oh, they go back a little bit, and they do have a thigh cut that is very well hidden by both the camo pattern and the armor, that you get some real good movement with that thigh cut right there. Single hinge knees that come up to 90. Whoop. They are a hinge and swivel at the knee. I say this a lot. I really wish if they were going to do that, it would be above the knee so it would come out rather than pivot. But you saw we do also have a boot cut right there, which further makes me wish that the hinge was above the knee so that it would swivel out since we have the boot cut. But the ankles rock back fairly well. The ankles rock forward very well. We do have a forward facing pin for some rocker right there, but we also have further like ankle pivot, ankle twist right there as well. So there, even though he is a single jointed figure, there is a great deal of articulation right here that you can get the poses you would want out of him. I know that because I've already played around with him a little bit before I started this part of the video, just because I wanted to get some stuff in his hands and see how he works. And I really, really do like the articulation scheme of this. Everything is fluid. Normally, out of the 3-4 Horsemen figures that I've received already, I had to kind of put heat on them. I had to loosen them up a little bit. A viewer with Stavros left a comment for that video and told me that I didn't heat it up enough, that there's actually more articulation in the torso, that I needed to put some more heat on that, and he was right. I heated that up and I got some more articulation out of it. But this guy, he came like this out of the package. I haven't put any heat on him. The arms stick a little right there, but everything else has been very easy, very fluid. There hasn't been any fighting for the articulation, but I also feel like it's not weak, that when I put him in poses, he's still going to have the friction grab to stay in the poses that I put him in. So out of the box, ATL comes with these gripping hands. He comes with this pair of trigger hands. And he comes with this open pair of, like, grapple hands, because, let's face it, a guy this big isn't going to be afraid to throw down. So in addition to additional hands and an additional head sculpt, which we'll take a look at in a moment, ATL-25 here also comes with additional arms, that he has these sleeved arms, and you can see they're textured as well. They're not just repainted. They're not just repainted biceps right here. These are actually different sculpt, different texturing, and it matches his Under Armour shirt right here. Now the arms themselves pop out very easily, and then that pops in, and then this one comes out, and that one goes in. So here he is with his shirt sleeves on, but what we have to take off next is the hands, which come off easily. You saw me just show you all the hand options. But then we also have to get these wrist cuffs off, and that is a little tricky. So popping these off is not an easy task, even after I put some heat on it, because whether you're using heat or not, I noticed that the elbow actually wants to disjoint before the wrist cuff does. And that's not a big problem, because there is a peg system here that it pops right back in. There's no problems there. Now, with having limited access, or limited experience rather, with 4 Horsemen products, I'm kind of getting the impression that they're meant to do this. And I don't necessarily mean like maybe in the hacks system that Boss Fight Studio has, but it seems like a lot of these parts are meant to be plug and play. Please, any 4 Horsemen fans that are watching this, please let me know if I'm right about that or not. I actually really love in the 4 Horsemen videos I do, whenever the old guard with 4 Horsemen collectors come around and like tell me all of like the little nuances and the little like Easter eggs and secrets for 4 Horsemen figures. It's really cool, so let me know down below. But this was a bit of a bugger to get off, mainly because of like this short, fat mushroom tip right here. So once I got it off, getting them back on is not easy either. Behind the camera strength, give me a moment. Okay, so here he is with his shirt sleeves on, and I'm doing this just so you can see how he looks. I really I'm really going to be displaying him with the bare arms, you know, sun's out, guns out kind of thing. But I wanted to show you this because this does look good. Like, this does look like this is how the figure was meant to be. The texturing matching up right there. I really like that. Also, these covered arms come in handy whenever you put the other head sculpt, the helmeted head sculpt on him. And that just pops off very easily. You saw that before. We have this textured neck right there. And then we just pop this on, and there you go. We have our alien gunner, and you can see through the translucent visor, although I don't know if it's showing up on camera or not, that there is like a robotic eye underneath this. That this is like either some type of cyborg alien, or it's some type of cyborg trooper, like a bat or something. And I like the look of this. I think this is cool. This is definitely a nice addition to the figure, and it really helps with like that troop builder thing. But I'm not liking this nearly as much as I like the in-package version, which is this version right here. And I mean, come on, he just looks beast like this. Now, let's get to his accessories. The first thing we're going to look at right here is his sidearm, and this is a hefty piece right here. You can see that we have this painted in on the bottom to be like the flashlight. Mine missed a little bit, but I'm okay with that. I do like how it has that shiny reflectiveness in there, like that's the flashlight for it right there. It looks like the barrel is actually that piece that's recessed down in there, because this might be some type of rangefinder. This is just the rail to hold the flashlight on, but it definitely looks like that this piece, this piece right in the middle here is the barrel of the weapon. And we have a really nice sculpt for this. It is just molded all in plastic, black plastic. One of the things that I really like about it is that the sides are different, that it doesn't look like, well, no, maybe it is just mirrored and this just has the hole bored out in it. And you'll see what that peg slot is for in a moment, because he does not have a holster for this weapon. And if you're familiar with Four Horsemen, I have no doubt that you already know where this is going. He looks good holding it. Like, it is a big sidearm, but he's a big dude. So it does work well for him holding this thing. I mean, just look at that. Next up we have his assault rifle right here, and I do like the look of this. I like this mold. I do think this is something that they've used before, though, for like their Cosmic Legions figures. I think I've seen this with other figures. If you'll notice, it kind of has like a little bit of a Halo look right here, the assault rifle from Halo. I dig that. That is not bored out to receive blast effects, which is kind of a bummer. Also, I would have liked if the barrel there would have been painted black, just to make it at least it look hollowed out, rather than having the brown paint there. I might hit that with some black, or maybe just like maybe just a felt tip marker just to black out the nose right there. But I like this. The magazine does not come out. It is all one piece. The scope up top looks good. You still have, despite having that camo paint job, you still have like some pieces of silver shining through, like maybe the adjuster knob for the scope right here. Once again, we have another hole bored out on the side there, and like I keep saying, we will see what that is for. He holds it very well as well. And one thing I didn't even think about until I started playing around with his accessories is that open gripping hand that he comes with fits around the barrel of the rifle. Fits around the barrel of the rifle very well right there. So he can get a sort of like relaxed holding grip on it. So that's cool that they gave him like these grip hands right there. And once again, like, it matches his fatigues. It looks really good. I like that. I like that a lot. And then finally, we have this big mamma jamma right here that does have some assembly required. Like, here are the double barrels of the weapon that we have this slot right here, and they just peg in like so. Now, it feels like that is a very snug fit. And once you get it in there, it's not coming back out, which is kind of disappointing for inbox collectors because it doesn't fit back into the mold, into the tray once this is in there. But look at that. That thing is awesome. This whole setup right here is awesome. So this is where the ammo feed, this is his ammo backpack, and this is where the feed comes in. And this, if you look at, if you look at these big pieces right here, just plugs in like that, okay? So then we have our, let me angle this up a little bit. We have our open gripping hands. These are not the trigger hands. These are just the grip hands, because this doesn't really have a trigger. It has a button up top, just a thumb button. So he would just hold it like this. Let me get it in his hands. One thing that I have really come to appreciate with the Four Horsemen figures is the hands are a very soft rubber, but not so soft that I feel like they're going to stretch out and misshape. They just work so well. Also, the top handle of this is not a stiff piece of plastic. This is a soft rubber as well, so you do have some play in it when you're trying to put it into his hand. And you get that look right here. Old Painless is waiting. And then you take the ammo belt and you plug that in. Oh, plug it in, plug it in. It's a little bit of a tight fit, and then it comes around to the front. And there you go. Look at that thing. Whoops, it fell out. It's a little bit of a tight fit in the backpack. There we go. There we go. And then you have this. And that, oh man, just look at that. That looks awesome. That looks really awesome. I keep saying this, I don't have much as far as like Four Horsemen figures go, but the ones that I'm getting, I feel like are just like knocking it out of the park, are just like some of the best examples of the work they have. Oh man, I think this is me, not the figure. There we go. Hold on. Okay, so this ammo belt is very heavy, but it's also not a deep slotted peg system right here. So it will brush up against the leg. I have him turned at the torso so I can get him standing upright a little bit better. But if you try and go head on, what happens is the belt here, the ammo belt here, actually pushes against his leg and makes him tilt in a little, that when you try to stand him up, of course, now it's not going to do it now that I'm on camera. Every time I tried to stand him upright like that, the belt kept popping out of the backpack. But you can see even still, even though it's not popping out, it's still weighing him a bit. So that's about as straight as I'm going to be able to get him for now. But like I said, if you do like, oh, there it goes again. If you do like a torso twist, like he's bringing it to bear, you'll have better luck that way. Now ATL comes with a lot of kibble as well, and whoops. Now ATL-25 comes with a lot of kibble as well, and something else that I almost forgot to take a look at are these shoulder pads right here, these shoulder armor that has these pegs that just slot right into the sockets on his back, and these just push in. It's a tight fit. You can probably hear that squeak. These just slot in like so. Oh, that's tight. Okay, there we go. And those make up his shoulder armor right there. And kind of, it can complete the look. Honestly, I think I'm going to go shoulder padless and just go with his bare shoulders. But they also do pivot in those slots so that it won't interfere with his arm articulation. So I dig that. I mean, it does look good. It does give it this fully armored out look, and with the sleeves on and the other head sculpt on, it probably looks even better, just fully armored up. Like that right there. Like, yeah, that really completes the look for this guy. But like I said, I'm going to be posing him like this. I'll probably leave those shoulder pads off and go with it like that. But that brings us to all of these sockets that you've probably seen him having all over the figure right here. And along with those, we get a lot of kibble right here. And I'll admit, I don't know what all of this is for. Like, we have some pieces right here that honestly, it just looks like they just gave us pieces to do whatever we want with. Now, these transparent cylinders right here, they serve a very specific purpose. And let me find all of them. Okay, here they are, two more. They serve a very specific purpose. Like I said, the pistol here doesn't have a holster for it, but it does have this socket on the side. We just take one of these short translucent pegs and we pop it in there, and then we can just put it onto his hip pad, and voila. It's just attached to him, like magnetized, just like in Halo. I think what I'm going to do, though, is, and that does pop out sometimes, I think I'm going to put it back here and maybe just have it holstered or attached there as well. Oop, it's a little loose, but there is his pistol on back. Maybe not. Maybe I will put it on the side here. Like I said, we have other parts like this guy right here that honestly to me looks like some kind of ammo drum. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe that we can pop on back as some sort of like ammo carry or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what all of this stuff is for. Like this piece right here, I'm not entirely sure what that's for, but it does fit into that back slot as well. Maybe, no, I don't know. I don't know what these could do. So this fits in like that, I'm guessing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming there's accessory packs that maybe this would work with. I don't know. Like I said, for Horsemen fans, let me know what I'm screwing up. Let me know what I'm missing right here. Because like there's that hole in there, that slot in there, and I feel like something should go in here. But I don't think I have anything that actually keys into that. Or does that pop out? No, I don't think so. Yeah, seriously, let me know what all this is for. But it does fit onto the figure. Also, there is enough relief from the backpack with this big peg that you can see it doesn't get in the way. The shoulder pads don't get in the way, and this ammo drum or whatever this is, if you wanted to put that down there, doesn't get in the way. But also the ammo backpack here has pegs on the sides. Maybe you could do something like that just to dress it up a little. If you'd want to do that, maybe I'll leave that there. But then the other one over here, we have our rifle, and we can take one of these translucent pegs. And then just, oh, that's one of the long ones. I want to use a short one. Or was that a short one? Put that there. And then pop that in. And he can carry his rifle while he's carrying Painless right here. Let's take this off for a second. So then we have that. And then we can take this and attach that onto there. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure what all of these pieces are for. I feel like I have a lot of leftovers. I also feel like still that I'm missing something of what all of this can be used for. I just don't know. But we have this decked out, so give me 1 second. So a couple things about accessories before we go on any further. I almost missed that this, the visor, actually comes right off, and you can see the robotic head underneath. That is really cool. I didn't know you could do that. I thought this was a permanent piece that was attached to it, but it's not like it broke. It's not like there's any like hard tabs in there. There's just like these slots with these tabs that make it slide right in. So the visor can come off. I mean, obviously you can pose it with the visor on, but you can also pose it with the visor off. And the other thing is this belt that, one, I don't think this is big enough to fit around his waist. Even if I popped it at the torso, which I don't want to try to do, I don't think this is big enough to fit around his waist. And it's definitely not big enough to be like a bandolier to fit over and around his shoulders. I think this might just be, because there's also like nothing that like would fit in there. I think this is just like an additional accessory they threw in to say, hey, have fun. If anybody knows what exactly this is for, once again, all of my 4 Horsemen veterans, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what this is. And there we have him, ATL, fully decked out, cocked, locked, and ready to rock. He has Painless right here, he has his sidearm, and he has his assault rifle slung right there. I love this figure. I am so happy that I got this. When I saw him at the Toylanta, videos of the Toylanta convention, I knew I was going to want him. Not getting all of that extra stuff, I'm fine with that. The shield, the staff, and the other head sculpt. Because honestly, what would I do with the shield, the staff, and all of the other head sculpt when this is really all I wanted? I think he looks great. And now for size comparison, here he is beside some of the larger figures for the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series. We have Heavy Artillery, Roadblock, and Serpentor. And I have to admit, I thought he was going to size up closer to Heavy Artillery. That these two are about on the same eye level, but ATL is definitely beefier. Here he is beside some more standard Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified series figures, the Iron Grenadier and Jinx. Here he is beside Hasbro Marvel Legends Rom the Space Knight and Taskmaster, and Rom is still taller. Here he is beside Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Revan, and Darth Nihilus. Here he is beside Valaverse Action Force Bone Collector version 2 and Pandora. Here he is beside Loose Collector Rob Liefeld Extreme Universe Bloodstone and Blood Wolf. Here he is beside Mattel Masters of the Universe Masterverse Masters of the Universe Movie Skeletor and Evil Lyn. Here he is beside NECA Toys Dungeons & Dragons Warduke and Grimsword. And finally, here he is beside Airborne and me from the G.I. Joe Steel Corps. The more I get from Four Horsemen, the more I get into this brand, and that is really starting to worry me because I collect enough as it is. To dive into something else like this, I can't do it. I just can't do it. But this guy, I am so glad I got this guy. He is fun. He has options. He is cool to look at. I mean, just look at like the beef on this guy. He's huge, even compared to like the bigger classified figures like Roadblock and Serpentor. I don't think he's out of scale, proportion-wise, huge, but like he's definitely going to have a presence on the shelf. Now, I don't have any Cosmic Legions to match him up with, so obviously he's going to go with my Joes. I think you all figured that out. But he looks great. The armor, the shirt underneath, the face sculpt, the skin tones, the camo pants, the boots, the accessories, the weapons, everything has been done over in meticulous detail, and it looks fantastic. My only issue with the paint apps is that one bit on the pistol where it was missed on the flashlight a little bit. And this isn't a flaw, it's just a preference. I would have really liked if they would have blacked out the rifle barrel. Other than that, he's a freaking masterpiece, and I'm not saying that like hyperbolically. Like, I knew I was going to like him when I saw videos of the actual Atlanta, the Toylanta version with all of the extra kibble. I didn't know I was going to like him this much. Like, once this video is over, I'm probably going to be playing with him for like another couple of hours, just seeing everything he can do. That's how much fun I'm having with this guy. This is the standard Toylanta version. Like I said, it's missing a shield, a staff, and another head sculpt. And it is still available, still in stock at Store Horsemen. I will leave a link to that in the description below if you want to check this out for yourself. If you haven't gotten into Four Horsemen yet, and you're here because you collect G.I. Joe and it's Yojo June, this might be the one that you want to give a shot to like dip your toe in and see what you think of the Four Horsemen figures. If you're a G.I. Joe collector, I don't think you're going to be disappointed in this. Really, like, just go for it. I think you're going to have a blast. Once again, if I missed anything or you know what that belt accessory is for, please, Four Horsemen veterans, let me know in the comments below. I really love when you guys let me know about all the little things, all the little like minutia about these guys. Hello Joes, and welcome to the end of the video. It's good to see you here. While you're here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's Yojo June, and if you were thinking of becoming a member of the Steel Corps, now would be a time to do it. You can join for $1 a month through channel memberships or my Ko-fi page, and get access to members-only Discord, members-only live streams, eventually, and members-only monthly videos. This month for Yojo June, we're taking a look at the 1/6 scale Fig Zero Dead Game Snake Eyes. If you're wondering what Dead Game is, just think of G.I. Joe, but what if Rob Liefeld? Remember to keep coming back all month while we check out everything G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe adjacent. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe!